For this lecture, I will quickly cover the section in Chapter 10 called Class Relationships. I'm not going to spend too much time on this area. I just want to go over the key terms that were presented in this section. The first one is association. That is defined by the author where there's a relationship between objects. These can also be classes. You can always switch objects with classes in this topic. Another key term is an aggregated object. This is a form of an association where an object that is owned by another object. Another term that's presented is aggregating object. This is where it's another example of association, and the relationship is the object owns other objects. And the final association is composition. This is where an object is exclusively owned by an aggregating object. So what does all this mean, and how is this important for you? Well, there's two ways to you really want to understand this. These terms become very usable and useful during the design time. If I wanted to design my solution using any type of design methodology, for example UML, which I've discussed earlier, I can use these terms to help me build my design. The author of the book does an excellent job of showing how these terms are represented graphically in UML. I'm not going to cover that in this lecture, so feel free to review his pages on that discussion. But the point is, if I am designing my code, which is a very important step in programming, then I want to make sure I can structure it so where I have these relationships defined. Now, the other aspect of it is implementing that solution in code. Now, in that particular case, you may not necessarily be using these terms, but you will be setting up your code so these terms are present. And what I mean by that is this. Let's look at any of these terms. For example, aggregating object. So an aggregating object is where one object owns another. So I would have a class file, and inside that class file, as a member, I have another class. Okay? So that is what we mean by an aggregating object. So I may not use that term inside my .java file, but you can actually see it being represented inside that file. So just make sure you're comfortable with these terms. As we go through this class, I may or may not use these terms. I don't think it's going to be required for you to know these terms, but it will make you a stronger and a smarter programmer by knowing these terms and being able to speak intelligently using these terms. So I strongly recommend that you become familiar with these terms and know how to use them in your programming exercises.